Hey, 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 happy Thursday, everybody. How you doing? I hope you're doing good. Not a bad day here. Kind of cool outside. I just came in from outdoors. That's why I got the sweater on. The air is still chilly here, but it's a beautiful day all in all, guys. So how is everybody? I hope you're doing good. If you are getting on here with me live, if you can see a red live up in that corner, I would love it if you would type live in the comments. Let me know where you're watching from. If you're catching me later on and it says was live up there, that just means you're catching the replay. That's great too. Just type replay in the comments. Let me know where you're watching from. If you're new to following me, I would love it if you would type new in the comments, and especially if you're on here with me live and you're new, because then I can tell you hello and give you a big old welcome. My name is Jan. I live in Southeast Nebraska, and I love sharing our low-carb lifestyle tips, tricks, ideas. And the other night when I was on, I had some people asking about a butterbell. Some people had not heard of it. So I said I would go live and kind of show you guys how I do it, okay? It's a great thing. I'm not going to lie. I have had one around here. Man, I don't even know. It's been several years now I've had mine around, and I love it. So and if you catch the title up there, guys, it says keeping butter spreadable, room temperature and spreadable, but not losing the integrity of it being good, okay? So it's a great thing to have around. If you know what a butterbell is, please let me know in the comments. If you don't know what the butterbell is, then stick with me because I'm going to tell you what it is, okay? Guys, I do share information like this in my group. I have another group on Facebook where I share our low-carb recipes and things like this in there, okay? I talk about why we use butter and not the margarine stuff, things like that, okay? If you'd like to be in that group, please drop group in the comments. I'll leave you a link. You can request to join the group, or you can search it on Facebook. Go up to that Facebook search bar, type in Diabetic Eats with Jan and Dave. It's a yellow and blue banner. You can request to join from there. That is the best way to get in there. But if you can't or don't want to take the time to do it, just drop group in the comments and I'll get back to you and leave that link. So like I was saying, guys, if you're getting on here with me live, drop live in the comments. Let me know that you're there. And if you're new to following me, or maybe you're not following me, tap my face. There should be 3 dots. Follow and see first. You'll always get notified when I go live, okay? So, butterbells, guys. It is something we have used here for quite some time. It's a simple little crock, okay? Like this. I just washed and dried this one, cleaned it all up. Hey, Jane. And this is where it gets its name. It kind of looks like a bell, okay? Hey, Debbie, how are you? So these are great because what happens is you put the butter in here. There's some water that goes in here. So when you put the bell inside the bottom crock, it forms a seal. Air can't get in there, and it keeps the integrity of the butter. That butter will last in here for up to a month, okay, guys? I don't typically, mine doesn't last that long because we go through it faster than that. But with the proper handling, it can do that, okay? So, why do we love it? Have you ever taken, and I'm going to show you here. Have you ever taken butter right out and tried to spread it on your toast? It's really hard. Winds up tearing the bread, whatever. No matter what you're using it on, if you're trying to spread it, it's not spreadable. Now, toast, when I'm talking toast, we use keto type breads or something like that. My homemade coconut flour bread or something. You can't spread it when it's hard like this, okay? Clunk, clunk, clunk. Now, what I do, guys, is I get one out, okay? Now, this has been sitting out most of the day, because I wanted to soften it so I could show you how I put it in the bell. Okay, so this is spreadable, okay? I've already softened that one up. This one is not gonna be spreadable at all, okay? So what I typically do is when my butterbell is in the washing process, I'll sit out a stick. Now, these are big sticks. This is like 2 sticks, but I picked this up at Costco. It's their Kirkland butter. It's from, I love this stuff, I'm not gonna lie. But only a half of one of these blocks will fit in. So super simple though, guys. You take the softened butter and you're going to take the bell portion, okay? And all you have to do is, hey Debbie, how are you? All you have to do is kind of open this up. Now I use a spoon for this step, okay guys? And I take a spoon and I'll grab a spoonful of this, a good healthy spoonful, okay? Hi Irma, how are ya? So, and then I'm going to take the bell portion. I take that I just scooped up and I put it in there and I just smash it up into the bell, okay? You don't have to be pretty with it. Just smash it up in there, okay? And you just keep doing that with this butter, okay? Take another scoopful. I'm going to drop this on the floor. No, I'm not. So, put it in there. This is hard to do when I'm watching in here. But you're just working to get that down in there, okay? And the last little scoop here, and I a lot of times will just do this and scoop it right into the top of that bell. And because I don't like to waste money. Who likes to waste money? Not me. Everything's expensive these days. Okay? Got it in there? Now, why you push it down in like this, the reason to do that is because if you don't make it make contact in the bell, then it'll fall out and it winds up in your water. And you don't want that, okay? You just want, and I don't let any go to waste, okay? Because, you know, butter's good for you. We use butter, guys, always. It's called a butter bell, okay? So I've got the small crock here and the bell portion here. Now, like you see, I've got that in there and it's not coming out. Now, what am I going to do with this? Okay? You take this and as you can see about how much water I need to have in there, okay? So I'm just going to grab some drinking water out of my thing. I'll show you, okay? I've got way too much in there right now because I was turning that around. Grab this and dry it off. So I'm just going to show you guys, okay? You just want to put enough water in there and you can test it out, okay? Turn this upside down in there and it should make contact with the water. And look at that. You can see there's water on it. So what I've done is I've formed a seal here. So air and bugs and contaminants or whatever cannot get in there. It forms a seal that this can sit out now on my counter. Okay? Room temperature, nothing's going to get in it. And it can just sit there. So then when I get ready to use it, I usually just kind of grab a paper towel. I wipe the water off. I've got my knife and you can spread it. Okay? Really wonderful thing. Now, I know some people say, oh, I just lay mine on a plate or I do whatever. I like this just because, especially, you know, in the summertime when you've got flies and other things like that, it's not the mess. Now, I do change the water in here so that it stays fresh. If you don't change the water, you could get some mold or something like that. And which is another reason I always wash these when it's time to change. I only keep butter in this maybe 2 weeks at a time before we run out, okay? You know, we use it, well, I use it to butter toast for the daycare kids and all kinds of stuff. I don't keep any spreadable margarine or anything like that in my house. Not at all, okay? So you'd have to change the water in this a few times in that 2 week time, okay? But, excuse me. Anyway, so it's a great way to keep spreadable butter. You can buy some spreadable butters, guys, but most of the ones I've read, they do an addition to it. You're not getting just butter. You're getting some sort of an oil or something like that. Now, I'm going to tell you, that's why we don't use margarines, because they do seed oils, which are highly inflammatory to our bodies. Okay, guys? I've been doing a lot of diving on oils. Safflower oil, sunflower oil, even vegetable oil. Guys, It's scary. It is scary that those things are so highly processed and then they're bleached so that they look good. They were originally made to go in motors, guys. Motors, okay? My body is not a motor, okay? So I don't want to use them. I don't want them in my food. I prefer to avoid them if I can, okay? But there's a lot of other additives and stuff in margarine. But like I said, even the spreadable butters, a lot of times will have something in them to help make them spreadable, because butter in itself, when it's cold, just isn't spreadable, okay? So that's what I use, guys. I love this Butterbell. The one thing I will caution you with is you don't want to store it like on top of your oven or your stove. You need to keep it someplace a little cooler, away from a heat source. What else? Summertime, it might not last quite as long if you're in a very warm climate, okay? Maybe you only want to use a half of a stick if you don't go through that much. So you just have to know your house, your temperatures, those types of things. You know, like I said, if you're in a real hot climate, you're gonna maybe not want to keep it out on your counter for a month. You might just want to use it, like I said, take a half of a stick or something like that. But if you've used a Butterbell, let me know. Drop Butterbell in the comments if you've ever used one, okay? I'd love to know how many of you guys watching have ever used one. I don't buy margarine. I buy Kerrygold, but I don't know about the Butterbell. Well, that's cool, because now you do know about the Butterbell. I love it. Like I said, I like that it keeps the butter spreadable. The other night, you know, you saw me mixing up garlic in the butter for garlic bread. You know, that's a great source to just, I've got spreadable butter. I'm going to dip some out, sprinkle it with some garlic. You know, if you're only wanting to make like one piece of garlic bread, you can spread it on your bread and then you toast it. Super duper simple. Yes, we get hot and humid here too, okay? So this is a great option, guys. It is wonderful. You can buy them about anywhere. Amazon has them. I love this one. It's a nice heavy crock, and it really is great. I bought this one, guys, from a friend of mine who sells Mary and Martha. I'm not sure if they're still in business or not, but if you have a Mary and Martha dealer near you, they used to have this one. And I love it. It has a cool little Bible verse here that says, give us this day our daily bread. Pretty cool. So anyway, I love it. I love using it. And anytime I can pass on tips like this, because I think a lot of us tend to shy away from using butter, maybe because, oh, I don't like to have to warm it up or do whatever. It's always hard. Well, this is a great option. Switch over to butter. Don't use the margarine. There's too much junk in it. You know, those types of things. I love sharing these things, and I do share them in my group, Diabetic Eats with Jan and Dave. So if you're not in that group and you'd like to be in that group for recipes, tips and tricks and ideas like this, drop group in the comments. I'll get a link in there. Guys, I love sharing this stuff. I love sharing our supplements that we use every day because they've changed our lives. And you know what? When you've got something that works, like a Butterbell, like our duos, you share it, okay? And that's what I do, okay? I don't use ghee. Ghee is a clarified butter. I don't think the flavors is great. I have used it to fry in sometime, Irma, but ghee is actually like butter that's boiled or something like that. I'm not fond of the flavor, but you know, hey, everybody's different. If somebody wanted to do that, they sure could. I know ghee can sit out on your counter too. It doesn't have to be refrigerated, but it's got a different flavor. It's got a different texture. I like butter. So that's all I have for tonight, guys. If you need information about the duos that Dave and I do use every single day, because they've changed our lives completely, energy all day, and you know, we've both lost a lot of weight and love it. Drop info in the comments. I will get back to you about the duos that we use. And I'd love to have you join us in the group, Diabetic Eats with Jan and Dave. Search it or drop group in the comments, and I will have that. If you have any questions about the Butterbell, guys, please drop them in the comments. I will get back to you. And that's really all I have for today. I hope you have a wonderful day. Smile, pass that smile on, and we'll chat with y'all later. Bye.